Hey guys.
Hey, it's Frank and Dan here. Right before we start the show, we just want to remind you that we're still doing the Joyride campaign on joyride.com to get us better.
Yeah. So if you want to support, go to thankgodimatheist.com, find the little Joyride logo, and click on it.
And just click it. You can support us at any level that is comfortable for you. You don't have to pay us a lot of money. A little bit is also useful. Anything that you can afford, we are infinitely grateful for.
Most appreciative of. Yep.
And here's the show.
Everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Dan.
Coming up on today's show, we watched a very, very good movie just for you guys. And we're going to tell you all about it.
I went into this entirely against my will. Entirely against my will.
What? It was good.
God is not dead.
You can find it on Netflix, people.
Sorry, wait, no, I said that wrong. God's not dead.
You're right. It was a contraction.
They've contracted it for no reason. Like the phrase, like God is not dead is so much better than God's not dead.
God's not dead. It's more colloquial.
They should have gone with
more conversational.
God, they should have gone with God ain't dead.
Well, because it seemed to be in Louisiana. Is that where there were Louisiana plates?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think that they actually mentioned a place, but they did have a substitute for the Duck Dynasty guys.
Yeah. It was not good.
It clearly was meant to be. I mean, they called him Robinson instead of Robertson or something like that.
And it was like, and instead of Duck Dynasty, it was Duck. I can't remember what they called it.
I don't know.
But anyway.
But it's still about ducks. It's just very funny. It's like the whole, oh my God, you guys. Anyway, we'll talk about it later.
It was worth our time. Dan doesn't agree with me, but I think it was worth the time.
Oh my God.
It's not worth your guys' time though, so please do not rush out.
If you really like the feeling of your butthole clenching so tight. Like if that's
it was a clincher.
If that's a feeling you really enjoy, then maybe this is for you. Maybe.
Who knows?
We'll talk about it.
We have a diverse listenership.
We do indeed. We do indeed. Oh, so do you have a story for us, Franklin?
I do, Dan. I'm going to break up two things. I have to do these. I have to bookend this whole thing. So
okay.
I have to do one or the other. So here, this is interesting, Dan. We're coming up into a presidential election cycle, right? In this country, we're prepping for the 2016 elections. People are starting to throw their hat into the
I can't
ring.
believe we're doing this for 2016.
Yeah.
I had the realization the other day. I was like, oh wow, the elections must be coming up, and then I was like, wait, no, that's next year.
It's next year. Yeah. It's about right. This is about right for how it goes now. Right.
That doesn't make it right.
It's completely wrong.
It's so wrong.
And it's annoying.
We shouldn't be hearing about this until after this time next year.
The nice thing about the whole thing, though, Dan, is that we don't live in a state that's actually that matters in any way, shape, or form.
That is true. We are fortunate in the sense
we don't
that
get the media bombardment over here. It's a foregone conclusion. Utah's going to go to the Republican.
Doesn't matter who it is.
It's not even that many. Electoral votes.
No.
So who cares?
So yeah, no one spends any ad dollars in Utah,
which is wonderful.
It's delightful.
So you kind of have to seek out the election in some ways. But anyway, so we're coming up on that, and so there was a poll that went out, a Wall Street Journal NBC poll that was sort of looking at qualities that people might want in a potential presidential candidate. Okay,
yeah.
And it was sort of set up in the sort of it was asking the respondent, would you be enthusiastic, be comfortable with, have some reservations about, or be very uncomfortable with a candidate with each of those qualities?
Sure, okay. Got it.
Turns out that Americans
Yeah.
are people, Dan.
Yes. Well, not all of the animal contingents of Americans are.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Are actually quite open to the idea of having a gay president.
Really?
And are very uncomfortable with the idea of having a evangelical president.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
There's hope in the universe.
61% said they would either be enthusiastic or comfortable with a gay or lesbian candidate.
61%. Oh, the times they are a changing.
Only 37% said they would have reservations or would be uncomfortable. And so looking at evangelicals, 52%. Oh, I guess, well, it's not that far down, but it's higher.
Gays are higher.
Gays. 52% said they would be enthusiastic or comfortable with an evangelical president running, but 44% expressed
discomfort.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I add me to that list. Yeah. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
With Huckabee.
Yeah. But isn't that amazing that we could have a gay candidate come out right now, and he or she would stand a better chance than Huckabee.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I love that.
But what if it's a gay Republican? How would you feel? Log cabin style.
Yeah, no. But I wouldn't be. That wouldn't be the reason why I would be uncomfortable with them.
No. The gay thing is not the problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't vote for somebody just because they're gay.
Right.
That's silly.
But what if they're really?
That'd be like voting for Hillary Clinton just because she's a woman.
Right. Don't do that.
No.
But vote for her because she's going to be better than whatever options are offered you otherwise.
Oh,
that's that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we haven't seen everybody. Not everybody's stepped forward yet.
We know who everybody's going to be.
I know.
We already know exactly.
Let's just play like there's a little mystery about this whole thing.
But there isn't. There's no mystery. We're gonna have a year and a half of everybody knowing the outcome, and the theater plays on.
Hillary Clinton's our next president.
Hillary Clinton's obviously our next president. There will be this interminably long amount of time where Republicans just beat each other up,
right?
And race to see who can hate Hillary more. And also Bernie Sanders will make Hillary say some things that she's trying to avoid saying, but but it won't be that big of a deal. Yeah. And then she wins.
Yeah.
And that we could probably predict who the candidate's going to be who actually makes it, the Republican who makes it through. I mean, this might be too early to make that call, but
Jeb Bush.
Yeah, I think it's Jeb. I think there are a couple
name that we can all be comfortable with.
Yeah,
in theory.
Yeah,
and he's just
he's not too.
He's not crazy.
No, he's not crazy, which actually hurts him in a lot of the states.
In the primary,
but he'll still make it through, and then it'll be
anyway. That would be interesting. Clinton v. Bush.
Another one.
Crazy town.
All right. I'm going to take us to. I'm on the wrong thing. I was like, why is this saying Florida? I'm going to take us to a Mormon church. You've been to a Mormon church once or twice in your life, Frank?
Unfortunately, that's true. Yes.
You and I both know those things all too well. There's a man named Brian Dawson.
Okay.
He was a Sunday school teacher for Mormon church, and he happens to have a Nigerian wife. He is white, she is black.
Okay.
So one of the kids, one of the kids in his Sunday school class, a teen, asked the question why, started to ask about race issues because the Mormon church, I don't know if you guys know this, they don't have the most pristine record when it comes to race.
Yeah.
Meaning they were literally the last ones to the party when it came to accepting black people. Everybody had already.
They were the last.
Well, the KKK still hasn't done it.
Exactly. That's my.
Actually, no. The KKK kind of has.
There was that weird little story. There's a little
offshoot.
more complicated than anybody made it sound.
But yeah, it wasn't until like late 70s that the black folks were allowed to share in the full sacrament of the Mormon Church.
That is correct. Yes.
So these young teenagers were curious, and they asked him. So he went home, and he came back with a lesson for them the next week about this, using as his guidepost the church's own essay on their own website about them and race.
Okay.
Now, you and I have talked about these essays,
Yeah.
the fact that the church has published a whole bunch of them about all of the most controversial parts of their history. And
they
whatever.
are completely out there for public consumption and yet completely, like, not talked about, and, like, nothing points to these things.
And
really.
right.
Like,
and,
you kind of have to know they're there.
Right. And we've talked about the fact that church members don't seem to know that these exist.
So kudos to this guy.
So this guy went and found it, blah, blah, blah. He was asked to, he was released from his calling. He was dismissed from teaching.
Too much truth?
It's their own truth. They were the ones who did it. And then his bishop calls him in and says, we can't have
Where did you find this?
we got some complaints from some of the parents about the history there, and so don't do that anymore. He basically literally said, don't teach that anymore. To which the guy's response was, well, I'm gonna, because it's our own...
Yeah.
It's on the website.
Exactly.
It's the church.
Yes.
And no. The answer was no. Don't teach it anymore.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about these little letters or essays, right? They're not signed by, like, the first presidency, right?
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So the president of the church didn't sign it, nor did any of the apostles of the church.
So it's not doctrine.
So the church members are free to consider it not non-doctrinal. And they do. When they encounter it, if it runs counter to how they've been thinking this whole time,
How it makes their little tingly tummy feel.
If it-
No. That's not right. That's not right.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Ooh, that makes me feel weird about the first presidency.
It gives me a dark feeling.
That's the adversary.
What
are these letters from the adversary doing on the church's website?
Does Satan know how to hack? Anyway,
He clearly does.
He clearly does.
He'd have to.
So yeah, this essay has even been included now. I will say this: it's been included apparently in the latest curriculum for high school, seminary, and college. What do they call it in college? Institute.
Yeah.
Classes.
Wait, the essays are now being incorporated?
This essay. I don't know about the other essays.
But this one is being,
according to the Salt Lake Tribune, is now.
It's not good for a teenager in Sunday school.
In church. No.
Ah, okay.
Nope.
Interesting.
There you go. Mormons
Mormons.
not comfortable with facing their own history.
Oh, all right. Dan,
Yeah.
I would like you. We're going to play a little quizzy game.
Oh, you love
I
these.
love the quizzy games. I want you to guess what the Christian book of the year is. They've named the Christian book of the year.
Who has named the Christian book of the year?
It's from a publishing group, the Evangelical Christian Publishers Association.
Oh.
Held their annual banquet in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
And this just happened this last week, and they named their Christian book of the year.
Okay, so the fact that you're bringing it up means that something has gone amok. So it's either A, not a Christian book, B, not of this year, or
I like
C,
where you're going.
or C, all of the above. So now I'm like, Hunger Games? No. It's going to be
I'll tell you this. It's coming from a Christian source.
Sure.
It was from it. All of it's appropriate, but you're not going to know the title of the book.
Okay.
Which is an unfair game. This one I set up unfairly. I was hoping you'd go for like, I don't know. But anyway, it's a weight loss book.
With you. What?
It's a Christian weight loss book. Has been named the Christian Book of the Year, written by Rick Warren.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You recognize that name?
Yeah.
Right?
Wait, why is Rick Warren writing a weight loss book?
Because he was overweight.
And now he ain't?
And he got up in front of his congregation. He said, I am overweight. I'm trying to figure out what to do. Who wants to join me? Who wants to diet with me in a Christian, Bible-based sort of way?
Oh, my God.
Okay? So the title of the book is The Daniel Plan.
Wow, hey, it's me.
40 Days to a Healthier Life. Do you know what this is in reference to? Daniel,
I'm gonna
who denied himself, who rejected meat and wine during the Babylonian captivity.
I was gonna say that you just throw yourself into a den of lions. I guarantee you lose some of that weight. You throw yourself into some lions. It'll be. Well, I mean, they'll rend it from your from your body, but
it's lipomunction. it's
lion suction.
That's dumb. So there's the Bible story, right, in which Daniel refuses to defile himself with meat or wine from the Babylonian king's table.
Oh.
So Warren has also added in exercising regularly, avoiding processed foods, and eating a diet that emphasizes fruits and vegetables.
None of this sounds like they got this from Daniel.
No, that part that he did not get from Daniel.
He's gone with Atkins, but he just calls it Daniel.
But
it's the opposite of Atkins.
Special sauce.
Oh no!
Special sauce. He says is faith and friends.
Don't. Oh God. Oh yuck.
So he involved in the writing of this book a couple doctors who were able to sort of advise. Apparently, also Dr. Oz consulted a little bit on this as well. Of course,
another
he did.
Excellent, reliable source.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And it's weird that he would do it too, because Dr. Oz, as we all know, doesn't really do anything for money. He doesn't like to say things for money.
He does things for the good of humanity entirely.
So it must be true. Then.
So in case you're worried that these doctors might have, these doctors are not necessarily evangelical Christians.
Oh.
So there's been a little bit of concern about, wait a second, like, can we trust these non-Christian doctors?
Yeah.
Like, ugh. And so rest assured, on the Daniel Plan website, it says, we will never compromise our belief that Jesus is the only way to heaven, or that the Bible is the 100% completely infallible and perfect word of God. The doctors are helping us just as friends, but are in no way advising our church on spiritual matters.
The doctors they're friends.
They're just friends.
Can't they help as doctors? Like, they don't have to help as friends. They can help as, like, medical professionals.
Yeah. But just in case you were worried that that there was only a book coming out,
and I was.
There's, of course, I've already referenced the website. Apparently, it's highly interactive. And there's also inspirational workout music. There's a CD you can get. There's a DVD that demonstrates the, quote, comprehensive fitness system based on God's power, not just willpower, right? Because that's the problem. People know dieting and losing weight and getting back in shape, you sometimes find yourself lacking that willpower. Well, God will supplement that.
What about God power?
God power.
You don't need willpower. Who's
God
this
power.
will guy? I got God. I don't need willpower.
And just in case you're going to, you're worried about what you're going to be wearing there's a Daniel branded line of moisture wicking T-shirts that are also available. So this is clearly, they've thought of everything.
I should get one because my name's Daniel. It'll just be everybody will be like, "Oh, you're wearing your shirt there, your Daniel shirt."
Yeah. So I mean, this is a moneymaker. Is what we've got here. This is the people are making some money off.
Oh
this one.
yeah.
But they're making the money in the name of God, so it's okay.
Hooray for God wanting you to lose. If God wanted you to lose weight, wouldn't He just make you slim? Wouldn't He just make you slender?
Wouldn't He give you the metabolism that He gave me?
Right. You're a very handsome man. You're right.
I didn't say anything about handsome. I said I can't get fat.
Anywho, my God, it's that's great. So go out if you need to lose weight. Warren Jeffs is on the case. I'm going to take us to southern Utah. I'm sticking with the whole southern.
You are.
I'm sticking local.
Okay.
Local first, Frank.
It's important, even in podcasting.
Even in podcasting. Even when your listeners are scattered literally all over the goddamn world. Local first. But only because we have some of the wackiest stuff here.
Yeah.
Including the FLDS Church, which, as you know, is the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Them's the ones that are still polygamist.
Yeah.
See. So there's an interesting thing that's playing out currently in the Utah in the FLDS. Now this is the group that's run by a guy named Warren Jeffs, who's currently in prison.
Yeah.
So
Good guy.
So he can't run it, but he's their prophet.
Yeah.
So the guy that's running it is his brother Lyle Jeffs.
Lyle, really?
Lyle.
That's a polygamous sort of name?
Sure, why
like
not?
The name Lyle? Lyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Lyle Jeffs. So he's kind of he's the second in command, and he's currently the guy that runs the whole ship.
Is he taken over?
Well, that's not what this story is.
Oh, okay.
This story is that, he's obviously married to many women.
Really?
But in the United States of America, that's not a legal thing. You can't be married to a lot of women.
Sure.
But you can legally be married to one. So traditionally what these guys do is they marry one woman legally.
Right.
And all the other ones are just sort of...
just for show.
They're under the table wives.
Okay.
They're the non-paper...
I like under the table wife.
They're non-papered wives.
Oh.
Anyway, so Charlene Wall Jeffs, first wife and legal wife of Lyle Jeffs, has filed for divorce.
Oh, dear God, why?
She has been kept from her children.
Oh, my God.
And she of which she has some ungodly number, 10. I think she and Jeffs have 10 children together.
I was going to guess higher than that, but...
Anything more than 2 is too high. Anyway, so they have 10 children together, and that's just the one wife.
Right.
Lyle's been spreading his seed.
That's what they do.
But apparently there's 2 of them that are still teenagers now. They've been married for 30 years, over 30 years now.
Really? And, which one is that? Is that like the diamond or the silver anniversary? Which one is 30 years?
I don't think that they can even keep track of those things, because when you have that many wives, you don't even do the present thing.
Do they just add up all the collective years of marriage?
Right. He's on his
120th year of
They
marriage.
celebrate it all on the same day, and this is our 430th anniversary.
Whoa, he's been busy.
Well,
he has plenty of wives.
Yeah, he's got 406 wives. No, so yeah, she has now filed for divorce. The trick here is that she actually asked the court to let her take her kids from the compound as an emergency measure and put her and her kids into protective custody.
My God.
She believes that now that Lyle knows that she's an apostate and that she's leaving him, that the kids will disappear. meaning they will be made to they will be sent off to one of their either one of their compounds in Mexico or in Texas or whatever, and she will not be able to hear from them ever again.
Ugh, these people.
And apparently that is she claims that's a valid concern. The judge did not see it that way. The judge did not see that they were in any immediate danger.
Oh, okay.
And therefore is waiting until things play out with the divorce decree. She's, of course, petitioning to have sole custody of these kids.
Right. Okay.
But until that point, they will...
wow. Okay.
She can't see them or whatever. But yeah, she was apparently kept in her own, like, in a guest house away from her kids for like 2 years while she repented for, thinking and not just cooking and cleaning.
Oh, God, it's sick. Those people are sick.
Yeah.
30 years. I mean, her kids, how many? I guess she would still have some youngins, but 30 years of marriage.
They're teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 30 years of marriage, she should have a 29-year-old.
Yeah. I'm sure
people don't mess around.
I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
I'm sure they started at
29. Let's see, 29, 27.
Well, I mean, they've technically been around for
3,
been together for 33 years or something.
19. Like that. So there's a few kids that are left.
Yeah.
Probably. Huh. Crazy.
A 17-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl.
Right. Okay.
So.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right. I've got another story.
Okay, go.
This last week, I'm sure you heard about this. It's a strange thing. The details are still kind of out into like exactly what to call the thing, but it's basically the thing that happened down in Garland, Texas.
Oh yeah.
Where the two gunmen started to attack, I guess you would say, a gathering of people from the Christian right. Right? This was a Muhammad cartoon contest and art exhibit.
Right.
And there was a $10,000 prize for the best depiction of Muhammad.
Right.
Clearly, this was being done out of as a show of intolerance,
as a big fuck you.
That works. To Muslims in general.
Right.
Because of course, as everybody I'm sure knows, you in Islam you cannot draw a picture. There can be no visual depictions of the Prophet Muhammad
or of Allah or whatever.
Yeah, anything like that. They actually don't like pictures in general.
They're not good. They're not good at pictures. They're not visual people.
That's why there's all the geometric stuff all over the place, adorning mosques and Muslim homes, so forth and so on. So these two guys, Muslims, went in attacking.
Right.
And they were quickly shot by the police who were there just outside of the building where the contest was being held. And so that all happened, right?
We all heard about it.
We heard about it.
Yep.
And so what's interesting is on the Washington Post, there is a poll, the results of a poll that they did, sort of asking Americans in general about this, kind of some of these issues that this brings up. Is there, like, what do Americans think about basically the right to offend?
Yeah.
Right. And Americans overwhelmingly support free speech in most and all of its forms.
Yeah. Which we should.
We should. And so you see about a 68%, I think was 60-70% support. Actually, it was 60% said it was okay for the magazine, and this is talking about Charlie Hebdo.
Sure.
60% of American respondents said that it was okay for the magazine to publish the cartoons, compared to only 28% who said it wasn't okay.
Right.
That was just right after Charlie Hebdo. Now, this is more recent than that, and I'm looking at this and the question is: should people have the right to say what they believe, even if they take positions that seem deeply offensive to most people? Back in 2008, it was in the high 60s. Peaked in 2011, up in the low 70s, and in 2012, we still have it over 70%. Do you think publishing cartoons depicting the Prophet Muhammad is okay or not okay? That was the 60%. 28% say not okay. That leaves a big portion of people who just don't know.
Right.
And what's interesting, though, is how this starts to break down based on demographic group.
Oh, yeah.
Men are more supportive of protecting offensive speech than women, coming in the high 60s. Women support in the low 50s.
Huh.
And then this is what's interesting. This one's not so interesting. White versus non-white. 70% of white Americans support protecting offensive speech. High 30s of the non-white population is support of publishing Muhammad cartoons by demographic group.
Huh.
Now
that's really low.
It is really low.
That's really weird.
And then Republican Democrat is interesting. Republicans support at 70%, whereas Democrats at about 56%.
Oh, you bleeding hearts.
And then education works in. How do you think this works?
I'm going to say that gosh, that's tricky. I would say that the college educated people should know enough to know that that free speech is important.
Right.
So I would say that education is going to be higher in supporting it.
High 60s, almost touching that 70% line.
Okay.
Some college education, just over 60%. High school or less, below 50%.
Yeah.
So, and then the age breakdown is also interesting. Millennials are far more likely to agree with the over 65 set than the rest of the population. Our age group, about 60%, and those just a little bit older than us, the 50 to 64-year-olds.
You mean like way older than us?
Like so much older than us. Those old fogies, high 60s.
Okay.
They're sort of the most supportive of this.
That's interesting. Yeah. You know, okay, so it's very possible that we have listeners who don't agree with us on this point. So this is my call to everybody, and that is that what we need to be considering is there's a difference between what everybody has the right to do and what's just a dick thing to do.
And what's the prudent thing to do as well.
Right, yeah. And, you know, I support the right of people to say anything, really. Like, saying something isn't the problem. I mean, maybe not yelling. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater.
Right.
But you can. But if you say that Muslims are stupid, I don't know that that's a nice thing to say.
Right.
But you have every right to say it.
Sure. Yeah.
And if you want to draw a picture of Muhammad, there's no actual harm that's done there. Now, if you're a Muslim and you draw the picture of Muhammad, then obviously there's harm that you believe will happen, and so don't do it if you're a Muslim.
Right.
But there's no you're not doing any harm to any actual Muslims. You're hurting their feelings and you're making them sad.
Right.
But you're not. But that's not enough of a thing to make it worth infringing on someone's free speech.
But
now it is a dick move. You know what? To do that,
it's a dick move on both sides.
Well, shooting people is a dick.
No,
more than a dick move.
Demanding that non-adherence to your faith follow your little rules about what you can draw and what you can't draw is a dick move.
That's the dickest. Yeah, like
that's a dick. And then going out and trying to kill people who violate that rule. That's a dick move.
It's a little beyond dick move, actually. I would say that if you're going and shooting people, you've now crossed a line.
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah, you're no longer just a jerk, I guess, at that point.
Yeah.
But the winning picture, Dan. Did you see the winning picture?
Yeah, it's like a play on the Norman Rockwell thing, isn't it? Or what? No, maybe I saw a different
doesn't
thing.
look like Norman Rockwell to me.
Okay, what is it?
So it's a very, very, very angry-faced Muhammad, almost animalistic in its depiction, wolf-like.
Okay,
but not like with a snout or whatever, but just like very, very angry man, sword drawn.
Sure, as you do.
He's yelling, sort of as to the camera, right? Even though it's a drawing,
right?
He says, "You can't draw me." Okay. And then there's a hand that's been sort of sketched on that's holding a pencil.
Okay.
And then it has a little speech bubble and it says, "That's why I draw you."
Okay.
I
get that. That's actually okay. It could have gone so much worse than that.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
much
and I'm sure that there were many entrants.
Yeah, there were plenty of things where it's like...
drawings entered into this thing that were horribly offensive.
This is my depiction of Mohammed
truly
getting butt fucked by a goat.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Whereas what's the only thing that is offensive about this is that they drew Muhammad.
Right.
Now, they could have drawn a nicer face, but it's mainly just an angry face.
Right.
With perhaps, are those sharpened teeth? I can't tell.
Let me see it.
I'm all hooked up to shit.
Okay,
here,
fine.
So
He's not
really
going to
turn around.
Laptop around.
You can go to fawstin.blogspot.com.
Okay.
And you'll see it.
Okay.
But anyway. Yeah. So
there you go. I support the right. It's weird when I suddenly become when I start defending a far right Christian group of people. But
of course, we're going to agree on some things,
right?
I mean that's part of. I think
that this event
partisan,
was,
you know?
but this event was clearly a dick move. Like I don't agree with them having this event. Fuck your event. Yeah. It's not like Charlie Hebdo, where Charlie Hebdo is actually making like they're not just being dicks. They're being humorous dicks for one thing. They're probably just being dicks. But this was just a dick move.
I mean, these guys are having fun. There was some laughing and
but I mean, they're
jocularity.
You know that they all just hate Muslims. The thing is, I don't just hate Muslims. I would draw Muhammad because just like that cartoon says, like I draw him because you say I can't draw him.
Right.
It's important to understand how this dynamic works. You're not allowed to tell me I can't draw him.
Right.
That's not your business.
Right.
And that's why I would draw him.
Right.
But I wouldn't do it because I hate Muslims, because Muslims are evil or whatever. That's just not how that works.
Right.
The message gets lost sometimes when it's surrounded by other, even hatefuler messages.
Yeah. I know. It's a tough one. I would have been curious actually to go to this thing.
Yeah.
Just to see what the mood actually was. Not out of support, but out of just being curious.
Yeah. Well, we probably shouldn't, considering the fact that though there was an effective police officer who was on board and everything, you may not want to go and
I'm sure then they had to be locked into the place for a while. And who knows whether the restrooms were open at that point.
Yeah. So, anyway, there you go. There are shooty people in the world.
There are shooty people. There are shitty people.
Shitty people. I'm going to take us now to Madison, Wisconsin. Madison, Wisconsin, home of the FFRF.
That's right.
Has now become the first city that we know. I think it's the first city in America to ban discrimination against atheists.
Really?
Atheists are now protected in Madison, Wisconsin.
A named class.
It is a named class of people.
Atheists.
Right.
Really?
They cannot be turned down for jobs because of it. They cannot be
turned for their lack of belief. I hope it's worded very well. And not just using the word blanketly atheist.
I have the wording?
I'm uncomfortable with with an atheist classification.
Well, but it's just atheist. I mean, the word atheist does mean non-believer.
No,
Atheist,
I know that, but
I mean, so I'm just glad that it's there.
yeah,
I don't even have the wording here. It should have the wording. But yeah, go Madison.
yeah. Applaud. I applaud.
I mean,
this, yes.
they're, Wisconsin's in the Midwest, and the Midwest is like kind of where, all of these statutes are popping up for, protecting bakeries from having to do gay weddings and whatnot.
Yeah, but it's Madison, Wisconsin. Therein lies the difference.
Well,
Isn't Madison known as like a nice little liberal bastion? And
I don't know. It's a big city, so cities tend to be more liberal. But yeah, I think
well, cool.
I'm
We should
proud
get
of
one here.
We should
work on that.
We should. Okay, I'll
It's
talk.
an election year. Let's see which one of the candidates will get behind
Exactly. Well, something tells me that you have to wait until after election season to get anybody on board with the atheists. They'll be happy to help out once they're in office and feel a little more comfortable. You're not gonna get anybody to go. And by the way, I'm gonna pave the way for the atheists.
If we knew the atheist population
of
in
Salt
the
Lake City,
yeah.
If
we actually knew that, and whatever, and there was some cohesiveness, yeah, we could totally get that to be an election.
Well, it's at least
issue.
It's at least two.
That's true.
We know that it's at least two.
Well, no, we know others. There's your wife too.
Sure.
That's 3.
It's probably, I mean, we could probably just come up with 10 just on our own.
Yeah, there you go.
10 people.
10 people. A voting block of 10.
Vote, yeah.
Okay.
And they are voters.
Yeah.
Our people.
Oh, yeah. So which one? Come on, guys. Is it going to be Garrett?
Biskupski? Anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, so that's good news. I ended on good news. Isn't that nice? Isn't that what we want?
I guess. God, Dan, you kind of screwed the pooch on that one.
How? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, if you guys would like to chime in on anything that we've been talking about, or if you just want to congratulate Madison with us, then you can write into us, podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can leave us a voicemail. The number's 424-666-8442.
Right. Check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
Or also on Facebook, you can search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge.
Yep.
And it's a closed group, so Dan will have to let you in.
We're well over 1,000 members.
Saw that. That's impressive.
And it's it's still a respectful and it's a lively bunch, but they're kind and they care about each other, and please just punch about the whole group.
It's fantastic. All right, we're going to take a quick break. This is, of course, it's Pat Robertson.
It's our Patty break.
And this is his response to a very difficult and sensitive question.
Okay, this first one is from Carolyn, who says, my husband and I are Christians and have been together for 11 years. Recently, I found out he cheated on me with a male Christian friend in our church. He says it was a mistake, that it just happened while they were drunk, and he wants me to forgive him. I don't know if I can. What should I do?
You've been married for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
This guy got drunk.
But with a male friend from church, that's kind of strange.
Hey, drunk, he didn't know what he's dealing with. She says, should I forgive? Of course you should. If he were this way all the time, if he's a habitual drunk, if he's a habitual homosexual, is he a habitual philanderer and all the rest of it, then by all means, take a hike. But one time, 11 years, don't throw all that away.
Wow.
Frank,
if he's a...
Wait, what? Are you a habitual homosexual? Oh my God!
He's amazing.
Should I forgive? Well, of course you should.
Yeah, it was just one time. I mean,
who hasn't gotten drunk one night and ended up with a dick in his mouth? I mean, come on. We've all been there. I did it in college. It's fine.
People would just be honest.
Yeah, a lot more than we know.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot more than than a lot of folks would be comfortable with. would have.
Yeah, because whenever they do those big survey things, right, and they ask more sort of the Kenzie style thing where they're asking about your sexual experience
Right. Have you
rather
ever
than your
had
actual preference.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good portion of the population.
Oh, yeah.
That has had some fooling around.
Straight folks do be trying out the gay.
Apparently.
Just a little bit.
I'm not even slightly interested in the straight thing, so that's fascinating.
Well,
to
and
me.
I'm not. I'm on the opposite side of the Kinsey scale.
Really,
Oh,
really,
okay.
Dan.
Okay, so we have to believe you, but of course it's better to. No, I mean, no. As I've said before, when I was single, I would have killed to have had any gay in me at all.
No, yeah, you've said that before.
I would have done anything because I had gay friends everywhere, and I could have been getting laid all day, every day.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had, and it wouldn't have had to be like emotional or anything. I could have just gotten laid, and it would have been fine.
yeah.
I would have loved that, but no. And girls are harder. Girls are trickier.
Yeah.
On that front.
Yeah. Huh.
Anyway,
Interesting.
but never made it happen. So anyway, we had some people write into us. We've got a few people and at least one voicemail too. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll start with this. Now you'll remember the last real episode that we had was a couple weeks ago. There was a little hiccup last week.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't around.
No.
To help with whatever was going wrong with your computer, which I don't even know if I could have helped.
But you would have had your computer, and we would have been able to do this. Anyway, so a lot of people wanted to talk about last week or 2 weeks ago. We talked about was it 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
When did we talk? We talked anyway. At one point in one of our episodes, we talked about death and eulogies.
Okay.
This was a while back, and Rabbi Gruber wrote in about one of our writers had mentioned a Jewish funeral that he had gone to, where the grandmother had chastised a rabbi for going on a little too wordily about the saintliness of the deceased.
Uh-huh.
So Rabbi Gruber said, Jewish law warns that one should not overdo a eulogy. You can and should praise the person a little more than the strict truth, but only a little. This is a good rule of thumb for resumes, he says, and for other situations involving living people describing themselves, too. The rabbis of old feared that a person's soul could suffer if the speaker went farther than that. So, though the yenta you mentioned was inartful in yelling out at the funeral, she was technically right.
Interesting.
Okay.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, this is interesting. I'm just going to put this one out there. Aaron wrote in and said, Frank and Dan, I challenge Dan to prove his acting skills by doing all stories with an accent from the country/region of the U.S. they come, or /region of the U.S. that they come from. I know you can do it. Your French accent was spectacular.
Oh, no.
Well, I did it. But, I mean, 2 of my stories were from Utah, so.
Okay, yeah.
So I did it.
Okay, well
done. Wait, he says, P.S., no cheating and picking all your stories from Utah.
Oh, damn.
I don't think I'm going to do that, but I could do more accents if this is what you want.
No.
You know, we could do an entire show
This is not what we want.
Wait until you hear my Jamaican.
Okay.
Just kidding.
No one from Jamaica write in.
Yeah. When we do have listeners in Jamaica.
I know we don't.
It would be bad.
No. All right. Should we listen to a voicemail?
Yeah, let's listen to the voicemail real quick.
Okay.
Frank and Dan, I'm so excited that you were talking about organ donation, and you made a wonderful, wonderful, amazing, perfect point about how you can swab your cheek and send that in, and you can be a marrow donor. And I really, 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 really would love it if you would let all your listeners know they can go to bethematch.org, bethematch.org. They can sign up. They'll send you all the stuff. And that's a great, great way. And actually, you all said, they're going to cut you open to get your marrow. But guess what? Things have advanced so far now. A lot of times, it's just a blood product donation. So it's like going and getting your blood drawn. It's a little fancier than that. but it's not necessarily a big invasive procedure. They don't necessarily have to put big needles into your bones, and you can save somebody's life, and it is amazing. And there are people who have leukemia and blood cancers of all ages, and sometimes with Be the Match, you even get to meet the person that you save, and it's an incredible life-changing event. Please go to bethematch.org and sign up, especially if you're an ethnic minority or mixed race, because it's a genetic thing, and some people are not signing up, so there's people of ethnic minorities and random combinations, and they're not getting any of their marrow, and you can do it. You can help them. Please, thank you. I love you both. La, 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 la.
Well, there you go. That's actually some good information. Be the Match is the group that I went through when I signed up to be a marrow donor.
Wonderful.
And it's a good thing to do.
Excellent.
So thank you for calling in with that.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
And I hope things go well with your therapy. That's me teasing. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You were a little overexcited. That's all. So we had one last email that I was going to read. This comes to us from I'm going to guess that it's Renata from Norway.
Ooh.
That's the pronunciation I'm going with.
I like it. Yeah.
Hello, Frank and Dan. Just wanted to pop you a note. Oh, by the way, this is about the organ donation thing as well. So that's why I thought I'd tag it on here.
Fantastic.
I just wanted to pop you a note as a response to your podcast on being or not being an organ donor. While I do agree that we all ideally should be willing to donate our organs to those in need when we no longer can make use of them ourselves, I'm not an organ donor, and I don't think I'll ever become one. On your podcast, you said that it made little sense for an atheist not to be an organ donor, but I actually think it's the other way around. In my mind, at least, donating your parts would make more sense to me if I were a Christian. I wholeheartedly support organ donation, but I don't like the idea of anything being done to my body post-mortem. I hate the idea of cremation. I hope that I will not die in a weird way, as I don't like the idea of being cut open and preened at by doctors, and I would prefer to be left to rot somewhere nice where nature could feast on me, wearing something biodegradable that I'd been sensible enough to die in, without a funeral home being involved. Well, good luck with that. If I were to believe in some sort of soul, I don't think I'd mind if my body came to use. It would be my earthly home, which I'd left for something roomier and much nicer. And if anybody wanted my discarded flat, I'd be happy to let them have it. I may, of course, change my mind in the future, and I actually hope that I will. I don't want to be weird about corpses, and I certainly understand that there's nobody home to mind anything being done. Anyway, it's a very long email, so I won't read the whole thing. But he says, anyway, thanks for the excellent show. He, Renata? What do you think?
I don't know.
I'm sorry,
I don't know the rules. And Norwegian?
I'm going to say she. Okay. I think it's she. So interesting. I mean, an interesting thought. Like if you have a soul, then the body's not the
vessel is empty.
Right. The body's not the thing itself.
And so she's thinking of her identity is completely connected to her body.
Right.
Whereas for me, once the lights are out,
yeah,
I'm gone. I won't mind whatever happens to me. I don't exist. My will, my ego, my everything is just gone.
Right.
So why not just let go?
Yeah.
Of whatever could possibly happen after I'm not around.
Yeah.
I mean, because our deepest, darkest secrets could be laid out. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
You know?
People could find out everything that you didn't want them to know, and it doesn't matter because you're dead.
Right.
All that matters...
Although, I am weird about that one.
Yeah. I get you. I mean, but there's also this idea of legacy, right? Like, there's the idea of, like, how you're remembered as you go on.
But that's just about your ego while you're alive.
It
doesn't matter the moment that you're dead.
The second you die, none of it matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think I just can't go there. I think you have to be a donor. You just have to.
Well, it's just so dang helpful.
It's just nice.
It's good.
And you're not using it.
Yeah, it's one last gesture to humanity, to people, to your, neighbors.
Right. Frankly, in my ideal society, we don't even ask. You don't own your body after you're dead. We're just going to use it.
Yeah, that wouldn't fly.
No, nobody's going to. I'm the only one going down that road, but
I mean, I get what you're saying, but that wouldn't happen.
Well, indeed.
Not exactly a pragmatic.
Yeah, because,
solution.
But I mean, isn't this the problem, though, that everybody has this sort of, they get the creepsies.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking about, because the only way we know our bodies is as the thing in which we live, as us.
Yeah.
My body is me. But it's not you once you're dead.
Right.
Your body is not you. But wait, what if you donate like something in your body and then that person takes on the evil parts of you? Like, what if your liver is what holds all of your evil, Frank?
Yeah. That's where it would be kept if it was kept anywhere. It'd be your liver.
Yeah. And then you donate it, and then somebody else gets it, and then now you've created a mass murderer.
No, my liver would probably make somebody not recycle. That's about
that's your
evil. That's
as evil as you get.
I think so.
Yeah, there you go. I don't care about recycling anymore. Also, GMOs don't bother me half as much as they used to.
That would be the other thing, yeah.
Anyway.
All right. What else we got?
That's
Anything
it.
else?
Thanks
Do we have anybody to thank?
Oh, that's on you.
I have someone to thank. We don't have anybody? You don't have anybody?
I got nothing.
Oh, okay. I have one new donor.
Really?
Uh-huh. Margaret.
Oh, well.
I believe that's the only one. If I'm missing someone, it's not the easiest interface in the universe, and it doesn't seem like there would be anybody else on this list that I haven't thanked.
Yeah. I don't know. This is all very tricky stuff. If we haven't thanked you, please write into us. Not because you have this ego that needs to be thanked, but because we need to know that you're out there and that we haven't thanked you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's important to us to thank you. So do us that favor. If we miss you, please let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can always write to us at Thank God I'm Atheist, at podcast at thankgodimatheist.com. And that's how you reach us.
Sure. All right.
So you made me watch a movie. We watched God's Not Dead.
Yeah.
Starring a god.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
One Mr. Kevin Sorbo of Herculean fame.
And a young, fresh-faced lad,
a little cutie boy.
Yeah.
We don't know who the fuck he is. So
the premise
is just that the basic premise, without getting into the B plots and whatever, is that there's a kid, a freshman in a college, and he goes to this class where the evil atheist professor starts,
and truly evil.
Yeah, you don't catch that until like partway in, but then you're like, what the fuck? Dude is awful. He starts his class, the semester off, by saying, look at all of these great minds. They were all atheists, and now let's just skip the whole proving that atheism is real thing, and everybody just has to write down that God is dead and sign it.
Right. Just because these people all came to the conclusion that there's no God.
So
that's basically his whole argument.
His whole argument is, I don't want to get into this. We can just everybody gets an A on this section if you just all sign this paper that says God's dead. But young, fresh-faced cutie patoot, he won't do it.
No,
he won't sign it.
It's just turmoil on his face.
Oh God!
Like,
he was just so. It was
acting like there's no tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
to let us know that.
So that's when Sorbo's like, well, I guess the only option for you is you're gonna have to lecture us 3 times. I'll give you the podium for 3 classes,
20 minutes each.
and you gotta convince us that God does exist.
Yeah.
And good luck with that, because I'm so smart and I know everything. You can't beat me at this, so you better not. You probably should just sign the paper. But the kid's like, no, this is on.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Yeah. And then he has his little lectures.
And then, then he has the 3 lectures. And then the final, and, the first one goes pretty well, but then,
Right at the end.
right at the end, the professor has an answer for it.
Right.
So the second one, he has an answer for the professor's answer.
Yeah.
And then he does a little bit better. And by the third one, we've gone into like a few good men territory, and it's you can't handle the truth. And the kid's like, why do you hate God? Why do you hate him? And then of course the philosophy professor only is an atheist because God took everything from me because my mommy died. My mommy died.
And the sick thing about this is we're not exaggerating.
No!
We're not like painting this picture in a bad way. Right?
No, I'm not making this more cartoonish than it already was. That's how it was. It's funny because and Frank can attest to this, at the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, Sorbo's actually not as bad as I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought his acting was okay.
Yeah.
And as the movie progressed, towards the end, I was like, I have to take back what I said about Kevin Sorbo. He's not good. It's not okay.
It was amazing. It was truly, truly, truly amazing. Like, just awful in like.
And of course, I mean, we knew that it would all be straw man arguments about. Well, here's what I feel bad about. There are young Christians who watched this movie, who went into college prepped and ready for this very thing to happen. And they were sure it was going to happen. And then either A, it just didn't happen because this just doesn't happen.
Right, because none of it rang true.
Right,
like none of it. The premise and nothing about it rang true.
Right. So even atheist philosophy professors aren't going to be like, you have to not believe in a God. They're just not going to do it.
Right.
But if they did do it, and it came down to like a debate, a show of wits between a freshman kid and an atheist philosophy professor, you're gonna lose. You're definitely not gonna trap an atheist professor into, why do you hate God? He killed my mom. Like, that's just, we're not gonna go there. That's not.
Or the encounter in the hallway at the one point.
Oh my God, you guys!
Corners this kid, whips him around violently.
The kid's just walking down a hall, and the professor, like, out of nowhere, just leaps out and like spins him around and is like, look, you're not gonna humiliate me in front of my classroom. It's like, what? Just forget the classroom. Just go to the go to the dean. You were just physically assaulted by your professor.
Kidding.
That
He's
guy's
done.
He's done. That
done.
guy's out of there. That's the one thing you can't do. Now, there was an interesting story that happened this week. A young girl, actually a high school age girl, is taking some college classes.
So she's a bright one.
In Florida. She is. She's a little smarty, little cute little 16-year-old.
Okay. All right.
She's taking some classes in a Florida college. What is it? It's some Polk State College in Lakeland, Florida. She is now suing because at least according to a press release from a Christian right group, she got 4 straight zeros on assignments because she refused to conform to his personal worldview of Marxism, atheism, or anti-theism, feminism, and homosexuality.
Oh, God.
Homosexuality, in this case, being listed as a worldview. Which, don't know if they know what homosexuality is, because it's not a worldview.
Right.
Anyway, she is suing because the that God is not, it's real. It's happening in the world.
Yeah.
According to her. Of course, the college is claiming that this is completely unfounded. And I'm very suspicious. Now, we don't know the actual ins and outs of this.
It's pretty safe guess, though. Like
I'm going to just put my guess out there. I'm going to put my guess as to what's happening, which is that he's doing assignments that are... So somebody got... Hemant Mehta got a copy of one of his assignments.
Okay. I thought you said it was the syllabus. It was just the...
He got that too.
Okay.
The assignment... Oh, no. I guess it's the Liberty Council that released this.
Okay.
And this is... And they, they've highlighted the parts that are offensive. After reading the articles, answer the following four questions. The following questions in 4 paragraphs. Number 1, what is something Lady Julian is saying/doing that women should not be saying/doing at that time under the Christian mythos? That one's highlighted because mythos.
Mythos, yeah, that's
Christians.
offensive.
Yeah. Number 2, from the article on the nuns, what makes their defiance of male dominance so important?
Okay.
Number 3, why did Christianity and its male gods, I don't know why he put gods, Christianity only has one male god.
Sure, okay, but whatever.
Anyway, want to silence these women? And then there's a note from the professor, and it says, note, for the reading of the on the nuns, there are questions on the last page. Do not answer them. They are part of the original article. You are only to answer the above 3 questions. Second, and very important, I do not want, and it's I do not is in all caps. I do not want you to write about how wonderful you think Christianity is now because women can do A, B, or C.
Right.
History is history and facts are facts. And your opinion of it is better now or not is irrelevant for this discussion.
Right.
What about my opinion of your sentence structure? Is that relevant or not? This is a historical discussion about the Middle Ages. If you really feel the need to express your opinion on how you think Christianity is now for women, you may email me, you may call my office, or I would love for you to stop by for a nice cup of hot tea where we can talk about it. But it does not belong in this assignment.
Wow.
And he goes on. Like,
so he's had some history of
he knows that this is a problem.
He just wants the student. Yeah.
And of course,
there's stuff you have to learn, and you have to like read about it, and you may not agree with it.
Right. And
that's not the point of the assignment.
And he's not asking you to write down God is dead and sign it.
No.
I'm guessing,
although this is akin to that.
Well, I will say this.
Basically,
I will say this. If their claim on this on this in this lawsuit is true, that she was given zeros on all of these assignments, that's a little suspicious to me too. I feel like 0 is a pretty low score.
Well, 0 is she did exactly what he asked her not to do.
Right. Or she never even made an attempt to answer the questions. She just wrote, it occurs to me that she probably just wrote essays defending Christianity and ignored the questions altogether, and ignored the assignments altogether.
Yeah. Clearly.
So we'll see how that plays out. The long and the short of this is that this, whatever it was that was meant to have happened in God's Not Dead, doesn't happen in real life.
No, not even close.
That's just not how college works. That's not how professors work.
It's not how atheists
And it's not how atheists...
There was not a decent depiction of an atheist the entire time.
Well, of course not. Kevin Sorbo was not the only atheist. He was, of course, the dickest one of them all, including to his own wife.
Yeah.
He was inexplicably horrid to his own wife, which is funny. And then there are these other atheist characters who are all, in various states of sadness.
Yeah.
Because atheists
there
are
wasn't
all...
a smile to be had.
No, the only smiles atheists had were either smirks, like
sneers,
gloating sneers and smirks, or when they finally realized that Jesus was real.
Right. A smile. I mean, that one woman, she smiled a smile I've never seen an atheist ever make in my life. There was just such joy
and peace. Oh. It's too
and
bad.
Love. I think there was love in there somewhere too.
It's too bad we can't have those feelings, Frank. I wish we could.
Completely dead to me, those feelings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are completely dead on the inside.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
We're just we don't have souls and we don't have feelings and we just wander around like we're basically zombies. You know.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes.
That actually sums up how I feel. Yeah.
I've eaten brains.
Walking Dead.
Not human brains, but I've eaten brains.
Yeah.
So, I didn't love them.
Yeah.
Oh, so, you guys can safely skip that movie.
It is on Netflix, though. If you're
It's
curious,
on Netflix if you're curious.
You're not going to like it. Even people who enjoy bad movies, because there's that sort of genre.
Right. I love some...
The bad movie.
There's such a thing as a good bad movie where it's just like so bad that it's just delicious.
Yeah.
This is not one of those.
It's just bad.
It's just bad movie.
But that's more the kind of bad movie that I'll watch.
Yeah, you love that sort of thing. You're okay with it.
No, I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
It's just cringy, and you have to shift in your seat a lot. And
there's a lot of pausing and getting up and leaving the room for a few minutes, and then you come back and be like, okay, Jesus Christ, I'll finish it.
Yeah, there were moments where we literally, like, both of us would like scream and hit pause and just like, no.
Lots of covering of face.
It's so stupid.
No.
I can't.
No.
It's too dumb. I can't do it. Just so you know, in the lawsuit story, as an update, the student in question who is suing did receive an A in the class.
Some sort of curve.
Yeah, I guess so. And the folks, like I said, the lawyers have denied anything. Oh, the full response from the school is in. Oh, I hadn't seen this update.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the student took the class online, and the 4 assignments were part of 15 overall. Other professors looked at the student's assignments and agreed she did not do what was required, and felt that the 0% grades were justified. Wow. The school justifies the professor's rhetoric by saying he was clear that he would be challenging the student's beliefs. But he also, in his syllabus, said you're not required. Let me find the syllabus quotation, which says, "You are under no obligation to agree with classmates, authors, or the instructor. In fact, the instructor will often occupy the space of devil's advocate for the purpose of lively discussion."
Right.
As a professor in a philosophy class might be tempted to do from time to time. The school apparently, So another thing, and I saw a clip from Fox News, which was covering this very serious story of a girl who was very put upon. I did not realize she had gotten an A. That's so funny.
That is amazing, actually.
But yeah, so on Fox News, they couldn't find a picture of the professor.
So they just put the devil?
But no, they went to his Facebook page, and on his Facebook page, they found a picture of Jesus flipping the bird. They had to blur the bird.
Oh, my goodness.
Shocking.
Horrid.
Shocking.
What a horrible man.
Yeah, there you go. So the... it's a non-story story, but of course the Christians are going to play it up because it confirms their story about who we as atheists are.
Yeah. Oh, and now that it's amazing. Actually, the one thing that was amazing about watching this movie was just accepting the fact that this is how they see us. Mm-hmm. Like, they weren't trumping anything up. They weren't there was no malicious oh, let's make them look really bad. No, they truly believe that that's how our minds work and who we are.
Right. We're all atheists because we're mad at God.
Right. What happened to you?
Yeah. Right. At one point, the kid just looks up at the professor when there's nobody else around, and he just goes, "What happened to you?" And the professor's like, "Well, how would you feel if you were 12 years old and your mother was ripped away from you and you prayed and you prayed and you prayed for God to save her and he didn't?"
Yeah.
And the kids with the mind-blowing, never-before-heard philosophy said, "Sometimes God's answer is no."
That's so sick. All right, let's
Wrap
this
it
conversation.
up. So if you have anything to say, if you believe that God is dead, which I don't believe because you can't be dead if you never were alive.
True.
You can write to us, podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can leave us a voicemail at 424-666-8442.
Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
Or also on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge.
Kids, don't forget, if you please, if you're enjoying what you're hearing and you want to participate in it becoming a better, more powerful, more
world-dominating,
amazing show, you can become a part of helping that happen. We're looking to hire a producer, and what that would end up meaning is that we would have really just gorgeous pieces at the end of the show.
The second half will be better produced. It'll be more polished.
The whole show will be more polished, will be a stronger...
I feel fine about the first half.
Well, I feel fine too, but there's always room for improvement. But but between the two of us, we just don't have the time and resources to do it. So if we're able to hire a producer, we will be in a much stronger position. And you can be part of that by going to thankgodimatheist.com and clicking on the right-hand side of the screen. You will find the Joyride link.
Absolutely.
And you can help us reach our goals, which we are...
We're getting to.
Slowly getting to.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks, of course, to Mackenzie for all of her help on Facebook.
And thanks to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of the music that we love so much.
And thank you, dear listener, for listening.
For chiming in, for tuning in, for doing whatever it is that you do.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.